Is anybody else tired of constantly worrying about their weight, whether it's going up or down? They are just exhausted. Because if you are, this episode is for you. Hi guys, and welcome to the third episode of the Voicenote, the mini-sodes that go alongside Glorified Gist. In these episodes, I just come here, no plan, no outline. I just come here to talk about what's on my mind at the moment, just chop it up with you guys and hope that you can relate or feel seen, understood. Maybe not, maybe you just want someone to listen to while you wash the dishes. That is also fine. Today I wanted to talk about, I guess, the experience of being a woman or becoming a woman and all of the things that come with it. And one of the things that is a big deal for a lot of women is weight and like your body changing, your period changing, understanding your period and how it affects how you are throughout the month more, but then also being frustrated because you know that because you have a period, your body is constantly going to be changing. Don't worry to the guys listening. This episode isn't about periods. It's just about the frustration that comes with being a woman, accepting that you are a woman, and so long as your body is moving and functioning, you're always going to have something going on. And for me, the thing that's stressing me out right now about my body is weight. So I don't know, some people describe me as slim, some people describe me as thick. I think I'm a bit chubby. I think I vary in my weight. I don't know if you've watched the podcast, I guess you only see me from like the belly button up, but like I don't look big. I'm definitely not big, but I can get big. I can absolutely definitely get big, but I also, if I'm disciplined with food, exercise and stuff, I can get on the slimmer side. I'm also definitely an emotional eater, so when I'm really stressed, when I'm really upset, sometimes even when I'm really happy, the pounds start piling on. I've known this about myself for quite a long time, and when I was younger, fortunately, because of the jobs I had and because of the lifestyle I lived, I was able to keep weight off relatively easily. Don't get me wrong, I'd still gain, I'd still be a little bit chubby, but I never like, oh bitch, you kind of big. Whereas when I changed careers, or let's just say post uni, and I was a lot more sedentary, fitting working out into my schedule was a lot harder. It also wasn't really a priority. I gained a lot of weight over like a year and a half, 2 years. And then in 2023, I decided, the end of 2023, it's like November 2023, I was like, right, bro, I'm over this. Let's get this weight off. And I worked really hard and I was able to lose around 10 kg. I was able to maintain being about 8 kg down. That 10 kg was hard to keep off, boy. I felt like as soon as I breathed in a little bit of air, I would gain that 2 kg back. But it was fine. Being down 8 kg was good for me. I was in good shape. I felt healthy. My body was moving correctly. I looked sexy as hell. And I was able to keep it off, maybe gain like 2 kg, lose 2 kg, but keep a nice bit of it off. However, last year, I started gaining a bit of the weight back, but I was still in the gym. And I feel like when you're in the gym and you're still lifting weights, you try to get cardio in, probably not too much, but you get some cardio in, you can gain weight and not really realize it. Or sometimes maybe this is what they describe as bulking, but obviously I wasn't intentionally trying to bulk. And so I was gaining more muscle than fat. And so I was gaining weight, but not really deeping that I was gaining weight because, okay, I can see that there's some still definition in my legs and I can see that my calves still look a certain type of way. And I was only really gaining in my stomach. But then the other thing is like when you're on your period or when you're in your luteal phase, you can look fat, skinny, but you know what I mean? Like it's hard to tell what is my hormones and what is, oh, you're eating too much, right? And so I didn't really notice it. Anyway, I would say the end of last year, so December and January of this year, I did completely neglect health and fitness. I think around December, Christmas period and stuff, it was just like, look, it's Christmas. I come from a Caribbean household. There is going to be delicious food everywhere I go. I'm going to be eating. I think we all do that, right? In January, launching the podcast made me so busy, especially because I was kind of like cramming episodes as well as all the other stuff that goes on in my personal life before this podcast. So I was incredibly busy and there was just no time for fitness. In January, I was quite kind to myself because I was like, it's not like you're sitting at home doing absolutely nothing and you could be in the gym. You genuinely don't have the time, right? So it was fine. However, at the end of January, I stepped on the scale and my God, today, I saw a number that I have not seen since 2023 when I went on my initial journey of losing the 10 kg. I haven't quite gained back the full 10 kg, but babe, I'm close enough to be truly disgusted. And so I have decided to do something about it. I've started Couch to 5K with my cousin halfway through week 2. It's going well. It's hard. It is really, really hard, especially because I have basically zero cardiovascular endurance. When it comes to cardio, I walk. If you go on my TikTok, you'll see I've done a walking challenge many times. I love a good walk. Or if I'm in the gym, I'll either do the Stairmaster or I'll do incline walking. But running, never in my life. Never in my life. The most I ran in school was probably like 100 meters on sports day or something like that. I've never really been a runner. So yeah, I'm doing Couch to 5K, and even though it's hard, I'm doing it. I'm enjoying it. I'm doing it alongside my cousin, so it also feels like I have someone there for accountability and also understanding. But I think what it's made me think of is like, okay, I'm doing this alongside my cousin, even though to me, my cousin has like the most amazing body. She's like body goals. She also has like body concerns. I'm talking to all my friends, and all of us, when I say friends, I mean girls, and we all have, even some guys to be honest, have like concerns with our bodies. And I'm like, is this the experience? Like, is this what it's like to be a woman? To get to that phase where you are just constantly worried about your body. Am I gaining too much weight? Am I losing too much weight? Am I eating enough protein? Am I eating too much protein? Am I eating too much carb? But I love carbs. Life's hard. I want to enjoy carbs after a long day of work, but I can't do that because as soon as I have the tiniest touch of bread, I'm gaining 100 kg. Like, it's exhausting. And I had a moment where I'm like, wow, I feel like I've stepped into that phase of my life where my body is a big concern. It's just that, I don't know, I think with adulthood, you have certain moments in your life where you're like, wow, like I'm an adult now, or wow, like I'm in this phase of my life now, wow. And obviously growing up around a lot of women, I've heard and seen discussions around the body, but you kind of never anticipate it happening to you, and then it happens to you and you're like, shit. I can only imagine how like mothers feel when they get pregnant, they give birth, their body changes so much, they then don't have time to work out, or they might even feel guilty spending an hour away from their children. There's so many things, but I'm like, is this the beginning of the end? Not the beginning of the end, but like, I either have to accept that I can choose to eat what I want and live how I want, but it's going to show in my body in the ways that it probably doesn't show up for men, or I'm going to have to get even more intentional about health and fitness and restructure and implement it into my life again. But that comes with some form of sacrifice. I feel like the thing that bothers me with social media is everybody does the whole like fitness thing. I'm running 5K, I'm doing 75 hard, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And we don't talk about the fact that there is a sacrifice that you have to do to be able to be consistent in those things. If that looks like you might not be the person who's out late anymore because you know you've got to go to bed at 9 o'clock every day because you need a certain amount of hours sleep so that your muscles can recover. If it means that you don't really go out to eat anymore because you can't have a certain amount of calories and you're tracking your calories and all of these things, but then it also means that, say you're from a friendship group where your main form of linking up is food, you might be left out and now you have to find new ways to socialize. If you're like me and you're an emotional eater, you're like, well, I can't be an emotional eater anymore because it's not serving me physically, so now I have to find another vice to deal with my emotions. And obviously that is a good thing overall in learning how to handle your emotions better, but that there is a form of sacrifice in, okay, now I have to be more mindful of how I'm replying to certain things or handling certain things. Does that look like going to therapy for my emotional things? Is there the budget for that? Do you know what I mean? It's like the trickle on effect of being intentional about your health and fitness comes with sacrifice, and we don't talk about it, and it's so frustrating. And I think realizing that this is probably going to be the rest of my life, it's just like, oh, like the older I get, I'm just like, bloody hell. I don't have children. I'm nowhere near childbirth, even thinking or considering things about that. But then I'm like, wow, when the day comes, if I decide to go through and be a parent, physically, there is a demand. And I don't even mean the demand of running behind your children. I'm talking about the things that my body is going to go through. I'm just like, bruh, like, is this womanhood? This is womanhood. Do I want to be a boy? Yeah, I could have a willy. I could. I don't know. It's been bothering me a lot lately. I know that I am going to go down the path of being more disciplined with health and fitness. Obviously, I said I've started Catch the 5K and I'm enjoying it. I am going to implement going back to the gym because I do really enjoy the gym. I do, especially leg day. I love leg day. I love feeling strong and like in control of my body. But obviously the real thing for me is food. Like I said, emotional eater. But even when I'm not emotional, I just love the taste of things. I do love the taste of things and a lot of unhealthy things too. So my diet is something that I have to be way more intentional about. I usually give up something for Lent. Last year I gave up chicken. The year before that, I think I gave up red meat. This year I'm basically cutting out all junk. So no takeaway, no cake, no biscuit, no pastry, I'm not really like a fizzy drink or juice kind of girl anyway, so that won't be too hard. But like anything like junky or processed, I'm gonna give it up. Like, God's given me this body, I might as well give up these things and honor him and be skinny in the process, you know. But yeah, so Lent starts next week, I think, by the time I'm recording this, so I'm mentally preparing for that. But it's a lot and it's stressful. So if you are in my phase of life and you're just thinking, bloody hell, like this whole health and fitness thing is hard, just know that I hear you, I see you, I feel you. Maybe we can hold each other accountable. I'm on the Step Up app, and me and my friend, we basically roast each other every time our steps are bad. So if you want, add me on the Step Up app. I don't know how it works, so just message me, I'll send you a link or something, and I can roast you and you can roast me when our step count is terrible. I now have Strava because I'm doing Couch to 5K and learning how to run a 5K. So if you're on that, add me. I don't want to put my account on public. I don't know, I just feel a bit scared, but I don't mind if someone reach out and they want to be Strava friends. I don't know how it works, guys. I've never run a day in my life. Well, I've been running for 2 weeks, but before this, I didn't know anything about pace, about miles, about kilometers. I still don't know. So yeah, but we can figure that out. But yeah, just know I'm going through it too, and it's hard over here. But I was trying to do a segue. There's no segue. Guys, Valentine's Day is in a couple of days. Let's talk about it. Valentine's Day is on Saturday. Do you have a Valentine? I don't. I'm not mad about it, but I don't. And you know what I was thinking? I don't know anybody who has a Valentine. And when I say that, I absolutely know people who've been in a relationship or are in relationships. But the people I know in relationships right now have been in relationships for a long time. I'm talking 5 years plus, right? And I think they're probably at the stage in life where all they do with their partners, if they do anything, is like a card and a box of chocolate and a hug. You know, like they've passed the stage of that being like an affair. And maybe to some people who are in 5+ year relationships, that is an affair for them. But the people I've been knowing, I don't think it's an affair for them. I don't think they really care, and that's not my business. But what I mean when I say I don't know anyone who has a Valentine is like, I've noticed that nobody is really dating and getting into new relationships. The people who have been in relationships for a long time, they're staying in them. But I don't see anyone getting into new relationships. People might go on 1 or 2 dates with someone. People might be talking to people for about a 2 to 3 month period. And maybe if that 2 to 3 month period falls around Valentine's Day, then they'll probably celebrate it with the person. But in general, I'm not seeing anybody dating and getting into new relationships. And I'm just like, why? I just feel like what I've noticed is across men and women, to be fair, because even with my male friends, nobody is coming across someone that they have a real spark with and they genuinely want to pursue long term. I think fair enough, you can meet people, you can exchange numbers, you can go on a date, but like that getting past that first, second, third date thing, generally wanting to be in relationship with, meeting someone who you truly fancy, are sexually attracted to, it's not really happening to anyone. And I find it quite sad. And I don't think it's sad because, oh, we should all be in relationships and oh, blah, 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 blah. I'm not one of those people at all. And in fact, although I've been in a relationship, I've spent the large majority of my life single and have enjoyed it. So it's definitely not that kind of party. But one thing I do think, especially as young adults, is young adults 25 plus, or is that for teenagers? I don't know. Especially as like people in our 20s and 30s, I think dating is an important part of the growing up experience. I don't know. I think in the same way you job hop and you learn different things and you carve out your career, the same way you gain friends, you lose friends, you know the type of friends you want to have, is the same way that we should have dating experiences. And I just think that's lacking for a lot of people. And I want that for more of us, honestly. I want the people who are single, unless you're like actively choosing to not date, because I think there's a difference between you're saying I'm single and this, I have no interest in dating, or you're single but you're at least open. And I think a lot of people are like, yeah, I would go on a date, or I would take someone seriously if I met someone, but it just hasn't really happened. I'm talking about that group of people. Like, I think if you're single and open, not that you're looking and you're on every single app and every time you go out you're looking for a man or a girl, not you, but just people who are open, I think with that openness we should be having dating experiences a lot more than we are. Like, I think it's definitely like a generational thing, like Gen Z and younger millennials, because I have older siblings who are like older millennials. They might even be touching the other generation that came before. Let me not even say too much. And their dating experiences when they were in their 20s, as they tell me, is totally, totally different to what we're going through now. Like, it's not that they would end up in committed relationships all the time, but they definitely be dating a lot of people. They definitely enjoy the company of the opposite sex or the same sex or whatever. And we don't have that as much, and I wish we did. I think it's a defining part of our 20s. I think with dating, it's not always about meeting your forever person, but sometimes it's about finding out things about yourself and what you want in your forever person. So when that person comes, if they come, you have an idea of what you want and don't want. Do you know what I mean? And whereas now, I guess I sometimes worry that we'll probably get to our mid 30s to 40s and decide we want to settle down because of things like children, for example, and maybe not know how to pick the correct partners or even co-parents or whatever the situation is, because we haven't had enough dating experiences. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe it's not that deep, but this is a podcast for critical thinkers and people who like to overthink. So I guess I'm in the right space. But yeah, it's just a bit concerning. And you know what made me think about this even more? You guys know I love Love Island, right? So there's a couple called Millie and Zach. Millie is from the UK. Zach is from the US, right? And the moment Millie met him, she was like so smitten. She was like, I fancy the socks off of him. I love him. I'm obsessed with him. And maybe there is an element of her that needs to calm down. But you can definitely see that he makes her so giddy and so bubbly, and she has the butterflies, right? And I think in our dating experiences as like younger millennials and Gen Z, we don't meet people like that often. I think with the conversation I have with my girls in particular, we'll always meet people who are like, yeah, he's all right. Yeah, she's okay. Like, yeah, like the date was cool. Yeah, he's all right. But you know that feeling, because it might not happen a lot, but we've had it before, when it's like, oh my God, obsessed. Even though you probably might get your heart broken at some point. That feeling of being like, I fancy the pants over this person. I can't wait to see them again. I just want to be wrapped up around them. I can't, like, that feeling is something I think is missing in our generation for both men and women. Obviously, I can only speak for the girls, but I do, like, when I talk to my guy friends, realize that they can have the same problem where they might be meeting people, moving to people, talking to people, but when they get to the conversation part, it's like, oh, my belly ain't really, I've not got that exciting feeling. I don't have a desire to rush out and see her again. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't know why. I don't know why, but I wish that could change. What confuses me so much is how we see ourselves as like these great funny people, and maybe that's the problem, maybe we're secretly boring, but we see ourselves as like really fun. Our friends love being around us, and then when it comes to romance, we're bored. And obviously you'd like to think it's not you that's the boring one, But if everybody's having the same, like, okay, maybe I should rephrase. Why do we struggle to meet people who match our level of fun and our level of whatever? If, like, why is that? I think with dating apps, if you're on dating apps, I understand how that can happen because you're being mixed with all different people, right? Like, obviously there's prompts and stuff that can help you feel aligned, but for the most part you don't know these people and you can't guarantee you have anything in common. And so I can understand how you can go on dates with people who you've met on a dating app and then not have a spark. But I think if you're meeting people in person and you're in places that you both mutually enjoy, how do we still end up at a place of being like, this person doesn't make me giddy? Or is it because so many things are online and we go based off just of decent looking and a couple good prompts, and we're not doing enough of the in-person stuff? I'm an advocate for a lot of in-person dating, and it's hard to me. Even when you're outside, it's hard, bro. It's hard. So I don't know, but guys, I really want to do like a singles event, not an event, but like, say for example, I would love to like have a house party or something. It's not at my house, and invite people I know, but the rule is you can only come if you're single and you have to bring somebody of the opposite sex. So say like, because a lot of my friends are girls, for example, then they all have to bring one of their guy friends, so that when you come, it's not just a room full of girls and two guys who get the choice, but it's like, you know. And I don't want it to be pressure. Like, it'll probably be like a games night or something like that. So the premise is to just come and have fun, but have in the back of your head that everybody here is single. So if you see someone and you're attracted to them and maybe they tell two jokes in a group that you like, go sit next to them. Do you know what I mean? That's something I would love to do. When I'll do that, I don't know. I guess that's a problem as well, right? We all have ideas and how we'd want to meet people or match people up, but then time, resources, space, it makes it so much harder. Yeah, but I really feel sorry for our generation. In some ways, we have more opportunity than the generations that came before us, and that's such a privilege. But in a lot of areas, we're really suffering, and dating is one of those areas. And a lot of people make it seem like, oh yeah, like it's not that deep. Dating isn't the end all and be all, and it's absolutely not. But I do think it's something important, and we should talk about it more, and maybe we have to be more intentional about it. I don't know what the solution is. In fact, if you know what the solution is, or if you have any thoughts and opinions on this, please comment down below on whatever platform you're using. So YouTube, get in the comments. You can also comment on Spotify, social media, you know, reach out. Let's talk about it, guys. I would love to know what you guys think about this. Do you have a Valentine? If you don't, why? Is there a reason why? Are you trying to date but it's not happening? Are you doing a Galentine? I'm personally going to my friend's birthday bash. I don't know, it's like karaoke fancy dress. I'm gonna dress as an album cover. But yeah, I would love to know you lot's thoughts on the situation, and obviously what we spoke about earlier in terms of being a woman and being fat, skinny, big, broad, whatever. If you feel that way, you're frustrated about your weight, get in the conversation and let me know. But guys, I'm going to wrap it up. This is the This is the third episode of the Voice Note. I've actually really enjoyed this. I hope that you guys actually engage with me, so I'm not talking to myself for no reason. But it was nice to just get that off my chest in terms of like the weight stuff, and speak about the dating scene, and not act like I'm above wanting to date and be around people of the opposite sex, unfortunately. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. If you got this far, if you want to stay involved in the conversation, then like I said, comment on whatever platform you're listening, but you can also get involved on social media. We are at Glorified Jist Pod. The Jist is spelled with a J, on Instagram and TikTok, or you can reach out to me personally on Instagram and TikTok at Janelle Asha. So yeah, like I said, this has been fun. I can't wait to hear you lot's opinions, and I will see you next week for the full episode of Glorified Gist, which will be not just audio but video as well. So if you're a visual watcher, if you like to watch podcasts, then you also have the option of watching it on YouTube instead of just listening. But yeah, that's all from me. I have been your host, Janelle Asha, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.